Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Luke Sullivan with Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. We're about 30 minutes, traffic depending, north of Denver, right off Interstate 25. You can't miss us. We've got a ton of inventory on the lot, whether you're looking for livestock trailers, two-horse bumper pulls, or big LQs. We've got a little bit of everything to check out. And again, like I said, we've got a ton of inventory on the lot, so a lot to choose from. And if you are looking to build something through Ciamrron and Outlaw, which we'll talk a lot about today with this LQ behind us, really good way too to get a feel for some of the materials, the build quality, and the layout and the floor plans that we can equip you with. So behind me today, we've got a 2025 3-horse Norstar with an Outlaw LQ. We're 12'9" on the short wall, just under 13 feet. And then overall floor length on this trailer is about 27 feet. So one of our more compact LQ trailers with the 3-horse setup obviously helping out quite a bit there. So a lot of amenities in this trailer. One big thing you'll notice about this trailer, it is not equipped with a slide. So a lot of customers are rocking 3/4 ton trucks, and we are very aware of payload capacities and cargo capacities with those. So deleting that slide helps out a lot with some of that pin weight. And then also, it's if you're single and going to a lot of these shows by yourself, or your spouse just doesn't join you for your equine activities, nice to have that kind of small space and keep it simple. So we'll get into the meat and potatoes of things really quick, kind of the business end of things. Our gooseneck hitch, 2 5/16 inch coupler. B&W has done a number of different iterations of this now. I think this is the 3rd generation, and really kind of honed it in. And the reason for it was to get some more adjustment out of it. Some of the taller, new, late model trucks, they've got the taller and deeper beds and the higher hitch heights. It enables us to really suck this up and have a lot of adjustment to it. And if you are still in an older truck, you can drop this way down, or if you're in a flatbed that's just got a lot lower of a hitch height, you have that adjustment and you have that play with that. Very important too, it helps you obviously gain that clearance that you need to safely travel down the road and traverse different things with your pickup, but also really enables you to get the trailer riding level and spreading that weight evenly between your 2 axles on your trailer. So 2 5/16 inch ball, completely adjustable, safety chains, 2 of them. Please use your safety chains, folks, even with the gooseneck trailers. And then Ciamrron does a nice job. It's kind of the little things with them too. I like the coiled breakaway cable for our emergency brakes. Really nice way to kind of keep some of that clutter out of the bed of our truck. We all try to add a few more things back there on a big trip, and so nice to make sure you don't get that tangled up. So a lot more going on under here because we're an LQ. First and foremost, we've got an added bonus with this too, an upgrade, is you've got the dual 30-pound propane tanks. So lot of added heating capabilities with that, water heating capabilities. We'll talk about the different things that we run off the propane services in the trailer. Your refrigerator also is dual service too, so you get a bit of extra time if you have a long show that's not just a 3-day weekend, but you're there 4, 5, 6 days or something like that. You're not running around trying to refill a little 20-pound grill propane tank or something like that while you're at your show. And then next to that, we'll see our equalizer jack system. So single jack on this trailer, still the same system, electric over hydraulic system. If we ever have a dead battery, if we ever have some kind of failure, we have a fail safe. This is our handle that we can pop out, and it really is as simple as pumping a floor jack in our shop to change a tire on our trailer or our truck. So if you ever have a dead battery, you have the ability to disconnect or connect your trailer with this system. Really nice to be able to do that. And then this little handle just goes over there on the gooseneck side. Set it and forget it, and hopefully you never have any problems with it. So full size matching spare tire. We'll talk about the running gear a little bit when we get back towards the axles, but 16-inch aluminum wheel and tire, 14 ply rating, and we're on 7K axles with a 14,000 pound GVWR. Real quick, we'll get into our battery box real quick. Outlaw does a nice job of kind of separating things. So we'll have one battery dedicated solely to our electric over hydraulic jack system, and some of our awning lights in the rear compartment of the trailer. And then everything else for house side is going to be in our second service battery. And then standard on all the 25 models going forward is the RedArc charging system as well. So really good for the health of your battery, enables you to put a charge into the battery when it needs it, and when it doesn't need it, you're not going to overcharge your batteries as well. So nice, really nice system, and you have a little bit of added storage in there as well. Real quick before we take off, this is our controls for our electric jack too, and that's keyed as well. So you get a bit of added security with that. Nice to be able to pull that key out if you are leaving your trailer, and know, you know, it's just one more layer of security to help you feel a little bit more comfortable too. And they do a nice job too to help you get leveled up too. So side to side, you know, bring some 2x4s or 2x6s or something like that with you if you are on a slanted camp spot, but then really easy to get yourself leveled up with your electric over hydraulic jack too once you're unhooked. If you need to drop the nose down if you're on a hill, or vice versa, pick it up. Nice to have those levels right there where you're running your controls for your jack. So getting into our LQ, it's an Outlaw Conversions. All the Cimarrons that you'll see on our lot are an Outlaw Conversions. They do an amazing job. Really, I think their number one goal is to be much more residential than any RV that you've ever stepped foot into. All hardwood surfaces, really stands the test of time. And when you get hands-on with these trailers is when you really notice that they are absolutely built to last. So we'll step into the Outlaw Conversions. Right away, you'll see underneath us, we do have a nice power awning. So nice to be able to flip this guy out. We don't have much of a sunny or a warm day yet. It's supposed to warm up, but nice to be able to flip that out, throw some camp chairs under here, have a couple drinks before you go to bed and relax and keep the sun off of you after a long day at a show or something like that. And again, it really is flip of a switch when you step inside. So when you go in for the night, you don't have to manually crank or anything like that. Ciamrron and Outlaw do a great job with the step into this trailer. Just a little flip up on a hydraulic shock. Nice to ease that entry and exit into these trailers, and then a nice big grab handle that at night is also backlit as well. So nice little added spot to see where you're going and what you're doing. Stepping inside of the trailer. Also, before we do that, you'll see our stowaway screen door too. Rolls right into a nice little pocket there and does a great job of kind of keeping itself neat and tidy. So stepping into the trailer, you'll see our main control panel here for everything that we need that easy access to. Whether it's our awning controls up here, we've got all of our light switches, whether it's control for outside, kind of our awning lights underneath our awning itself, or some of those grab handle lights, and then all of our interior lights. And then most importantly, one thing you're not missing out with, we're a lot smaller of an LQ here. We're deleting the slide, obviously, but we've still got a 4K on an onboard gen. Complete remote start system right here. We're running it right now, and obviously a very quiet little system. So, and you also get the fuel gauge right here, easy to spot, can keep an eye on it. All our fuel tanks are a little bit different. All these trailers are a little bit of a fingerprint, but they're definitely designed to be run with a hot summer day with your AC full blast and some appliances going for a very long weekend, 4 to 5 days. Depending on the usage, but very easy to keep an eye on that. And then we'll take a look too at the back of the trailer. It's got that fill tank right on the driver's side, so very easy to get to when you are filling up your truck. Easy to pull forward and top that off as you go. One thing you'll see, Outlaw listens to everything that customers are asking for, and everything that we hear is more storage, more closet space, and this trailer has two really great options. A lot of people are asking for that taller storage, whether they've got some long coats, some dresses, what have you. This is one of those spots, and then we've got a second in the bathroom that's a really nice spot. We've got a big clothes hanger rod right there. Nice spot to hang all your show coats, and really if you're showing in the off seasons or the kind of swing seasons a little bit, if you need just to use this as kind of your hallway coat closet, really nice spot to hang some raincoats and show coats and your warm winter coats as well. So you'll see too, just above that, they've added this nice easy access as well. CD player with Wi-Fi capability, or Bluetooth capability, excuse me. So you have the ability to hook your phone to it, hook your iPod to it. Maybe I'm dating myself by saying that, but really easy to connect, and you've got the ability to kind of zone it differently as well. So if you want to have some tunes inside and keep it quiet outside because you're camping with a bunch of neighbors and respect them, you have that ability. And also if you want to pipe some of the music outside, we've got a couple speakers on that wall underneath our awning as well. You can pipe that outside, have your grill going, and have a few tunes going that way as well. So nice versatility with that, and then just a really nice simple system to use. And like I said, here's your different zones and systems like that. Above that, on a nice swivel as well, let's see if we can, we're not going to play with it too much on video because I'll mess it up. But you have the ability to swivel this back towards about where your seating position is, where our cameraman's standing, or you have the ability to swivel it towards your bed as well. So you've got that versatility with this. And then again, nice Samsung TV. You're going to see some quality appliances in these trailers as well. It's not going to be the bottom end kind of stuff. It's quality, you know, smart TVs, very easy to hook your phones to, very easy to get your Netflix or your Apple TV set up with. And you'll have all the conveniences of home, obviously. So open kind of bedroom style in this one. We've seen all of the LQs, whether they've got a dual entry with pocket doors or a single entry. This is a really great setup. If it is a couple that you guys are camping out for weekends or something like that, you're not going to disturb anybody if you need to get out of bed in the middle of the night and check horses or something like that, and vice versa. Both people can come and go and not disturb somebody with it. At the head of the bed, you'll see a bunch of cabinetry up there. Nice spot to keep some linens and toiletries or what have you. And just, again, a lot more added storage with these trailers. On both sides of this, you'll see, we talked a little bit, we didn't actually, but we'll mention it when we get back outside, is the frameless windows. You have the ability to vent those windows, but you also have the dual shades with these trailers. So you've got the daytime kind of privacy shades, and then you've got a blackout that'll come down below that as well. So if you've had a long night showing or something like that and want to get a couple extra Z's in an early morning and dark things out, or you're camped out under a parking light or a spotlight or something like that, you can darken these trailers up really nicely even during the middle of the day. So talk more about cabinetry. We've got tons of storage along here. Outlaw does a really nice job of stamping and giving you a lot of the information about all the appliances, and that's exactly what that is in there. So has info, whether it's anything from the generator to the refrigerator or the water pump or the like. They also include quite a few nice booklets, discuss winterization and that kind of stuff as well. So again, ton of storage in these trailers. This one is very much blank slate, whether you've got some totes that you want to throw in there or do with them as you please. Outlaw does a great job on these balances. Again, I can't kind of stress enough, it's one of those things that once you are hands-on, it's really easy to see. But the materials in these trailers really are solid and high quality stuff. So sleeper couch down here, if you ever do have a friend staying, real easy, swing it up. It'll come out a few more inches. Doesn't take up a ton of space, but easy to make up a nice sleeping spot for somebody if it's just an impromptu them stopping through. Our fresh water tank, 60-gallon fresh water tank, is going to be underneath of this couch. So easy to use these trailers kind of in those swing seasons like we were talking a little bit about. If you're careful with your black and gray tanks and how you use those, it is very easy if you're keeping these trailers if you're keeping them tempered, if you're keeping your furnace going or something like that, easy to use them in those off seasons. Even if you have a very cold night, don't have to worry about all that winterization as much. So normal, I think we're a 6 cubic foot fridge in this guy. Dometic appliance in here, dual function, gas and electric. So if you're boondocking and you're running off your generator to keep yourself cool in the AC or run the AC microwave for a few minutes, you can run this very easily off that propane service. Really, these new systems, it's an automated switch at the top there, easy to use, set it and forget it. It's not as complicated before as you had to decide which service to use and light the pilot light, etc., etc. These are all self-igniting. We'll talk a little bit about the propane service, and there are some shutoffs in it. We have a lot of customers first-time use that get a little stumped by that, so show you that too as we go through the trailer. Step back into the bathroom. I think the first thing, I'll step back in here to give some room, that we should talk about is this huge closet in here. And so we talked about everybody asking for some of that extra hanging space. We have 2 clothes rods here. Obviously, we could very easily pull that second middle rod off, and you've got a ton of long space if you do want to pack some dresses along with you, or need some higher, taller hanging space or something like that. And again, cool part about this closet too is we'll open it back up, but self-lit. So every time you pop the door open, the light comes on for you automatically. It's all wired in through the latching mechanism on the top. Another thing you'll notice, we have a nice little storage cubby there for a table if we want to drop that into the floor. And then very easy access to all of our water pumps and our drain valves and all these Outlaw Conversions. They're very considerate of the fact that we need to winterize and de-winterize these things once a year, twice a year. We're in those systems working on them. So very easy to get access to all your valving, whether it's shutoffs and your pumps as well, if that needs any kind of service or checkup or anything like that. So closing this guy back up, we'll talk more about storage in here. Big medicine cabinet up top with a big mirror as well. Tons of storage with that. And then a lot of counter space in here as well. You don't typically see this much. Typically you're in a little V corner. And so I think small packages, this is a very well laid out trailer. So a lot of cabinets, or a lot of counter space, and then more storage underneath as well. And you'll see just below that door is some of our venting. That will be our furnace venting as well. So 2 different services, the furnace versus the AC. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get into it. And then one more great spot for your towels or linens, whatever you need to store in there. And then very bottom spot, again, easy access into the back of that toilet, any kind of service you need to do, and some of the valving, I'm sure, for the sink as well. So very nice that they're very considerate of that. And then all porcelain toilets on these guys as well. We won't see any of those plastic toilets anymore as well. Really nice, again, quality service in these. Kind of that half moon opening door into our shower. Excuse our nozzle hanging down there. That's kind of our winterization process. Really good, actually, practice to use is once you winterize these things, if you want to ensure that you're keeping all the water out at the lowest points, is we've made that our lowest point with that shower head down there in the floor like that. So nice to ensure you've got a lot of that water out and that you are getting your antifreeze through the system. So again, very sizable shower, big tall skylight in there too. So I'm obviously not a very tall guy, so I fit in there pretty nice, but a 6 foot something fella certainly has been cramped into an LQ shower before. So I think he would appreciate having that skylight and a little bit of extra headroom in these guys as well. We'll close this guy back up on us. We'll take a peek at the kitchen. Before we get into the kitchen, right here on our walls, a couple of different control panels. We talked about our switches and our gen switches over there. This is a lot of our tank access, our battery information. So flip this, we have our gen running right now, so we're getting a full charge on our batteries. And then we have our fresh and our black and our gray, all of which are empty at the moment. This is also the control if we are boondocking and don't have a water connection, a water spigot hookup to our trailer directly. This is how we utilize the pump that runs our 60-gallon fresh water tank on the trailer. And then vice versa, if you are hooked up to a spigot and you have a water service at a campsite, you don't need to use that pump. You're running off of that pressure of the service, water service you're getting. And then there's your water heater service as well. And then this will run all of our AC service for the most part, and it'll also run our furnace system, both separate systems, AC on the roof, all vented through the ceiling, furnace on the floor, all vented through the floor vents, but very similar to anything that you've seen in your house. You'll go through a couple different modes. There'll be the autos and the ACs and the heats, and then you can set your temps and you're good to go. Now, we talked a little bit about our propane service. This is our propane fume detector. So first and foremost, it is a safety item. It's a detector that will shut off propane service to the trailer at a solenoid if it ever smells raw propane. So first and foremost, always need to make sure we can check that and make sure that works. And the way to do that is to hit that check mark. It'll go through and do a check on the system itself and give you that green OK mark. And then first time you fire up for the season, if you're changing out your propane tanks and need to disconnect them for any reason or shut those valves off, this is your solenoid to get things going back again to open up that service. and get your propane flowing again. Our best suggestion, if you are needing to purge out some of that propane, is come straight to your cooktop over here. Let that run for a little bit, hold a grill lighter or something to it that gives you a little bit of distance away from it. But sometimes it'll take a little bit to purge some of that air out of the systems. Once you get propane service to at least this burner, depending on the setup of your trailer and the layout, how things are set up, you can usually very easily get your furnace fired up from there. It'll auto start for you. Same with your refrigerator or your water heater. So while we're in here, talk about our 2-burner cooktop. Really nice, deep and recessed too. So because of that, we have a nice flat surface with this. Turn some more lights on under here for us. Probably have another one on the microwave. And then we have a lot of counter space and a single kind of deep basin sink as well. With, again, you're not losing any of those amenities from home. So nice to be able to wash things up. Nice to be able to pop this back on, and then you have some more counter space as well. If you're getting ready for breakfast in the morning, nice spot to throw a coffee maker and get yourself plugged in. So drawers and storage, some of our remotes for our audio video capabilities. Here's Outlaw's very large binder that you get about all of the info. They give you a little tester as well and some piping to help you winterize, and then tons and tons of literature about the trailer itself, about the living quarters, about the appliances, and a lot of questions can be answered for you in those for sure. Big deep drawer down there at the bottom as well. And then under our sink, you will see a lot of this is space taken up by our water heater. But again, look at all that valving right there. Easy access to turn stuff on and off for winterization, or if we're just storing for a short period of time and want to make sure that we don't have any kind of water damage issues or anything like that. So still a little bit of storage space. Obviously can store some soaps and dishwashing stuff like that down there. And then full size convection microwave oven as well. So multi-service out of it. We don't equip a lot of these trailers anymore with your typical gas stoves, so your oven anymore. So with the convection oven, you gain a lot of capabilities with those as well. Real quick, before we take off outside, we talked about some of the ducting for the AC as well. You'll see one above me, a couple actually around me as well. That ducting goes all the way to the head of the bed as well. So nice to keep these trailers really cool in the winter, in the summertime, sorry. And then wintertime, off season, fall, early spring, something like that. Big furnace in these guys will keep them nice and warm as well. Keep you toasty in the cooler nights. So we'll work our way outside. We'll talk a little bit about the 3-horse aspect of this trailer and a couple of the amenities that we're using right now. First and foremost is that gen running behind us up on the roof. We talk about that in the roof rack as well. So we'll walk our way outside. Couple of add-ons that kind of put this trailer a little away from standard. First and foremost, we've got the drop windows on the hip side. So we'll find one that's reachable for me. You can move a lot of air through these trailers in the summertime. Really nice way to be able to do that. We'll talk about roof vents and the drop windows on the head side. But with these guys dropped on hip side, all 3 of these down on a summer day, you can move a ton of air. Now, we're used to seeing kind of the oversized bus windows back here. Just a really nice added bonus with these guys to be able to do that. And then between each of those, we've got some tie rings here. We've got an awning light above us as well. Nice to be able to tack up our horses here and see what we're doing if we need to. Nice to have a bit of extra light over here if we're hanging out and camping out for the night as well. One more cool little feature that's an add-on to, kind of one more step away from standard, so to speak, is this running light here on the passenger side, and we've got one mirror image over there on the driver's side. Acts as a running light. You can see we have most of our running lights lit up right now, but also a turn signal too. So anytime you got your flashers on, anytime you're trying to lane change on the interstate or something like that, and you've got somebody hanging out right here in a passenger car, gives them a nice view of that and they can see what you're trying to do. Helps them out, helps you out, and just a bit of added safety with those. So we talked about running gear a tiny bit with that spare tire. We are on 7K Dexter torsion axles with electric drum brakes. So dual 7K torsion axles, that gives us a 14,000 pound empty weight, or GVWR, sorry. With that, we are on 16-inch aluminum wheels and tires with a 14-ply rating on the tire itself. So we've got a lot of weight rating here. We've got a lot of cushion for our capabilities and where we sit as a trailer as a whole. I think this trailer sits empty right around 11,000 pounds. We can look that up for you and give you an exact number, but right in that range. So, and then again, like I said, electric drum brakes. So make sure you've got a trailer brake controller. You got a lot of heft behind you. Make sure you have the ability to change that setting too, and that you can always adjust it, whether you're changing your load, you have no horses on, or your tow vehicle changes. That number is always different. Every trailer and truck combination seems to yield a different number for every trailer that we get hooked up. So you do hear above us our generator humming away up there. Not that annoying. We're standing just below it. Once you're inside the LQ, you can't hear a thing. It is a 4K Awning gas gen, so gone away from the diesel gens for the most part. They are still an option if that's something you're looking for. But like I said, we'll talk about it on driver's side. Nice, easy fill up for those. And then a big hay rack above as well. So got a lot of storage with that too. Working our way back here to the horse area. You'll see first and foremost, we have a folding rear tack. So we've got a lot of versatility with this tack. Whether we want to stack a couple more saddle racks on this pole, something that we can very easily add for you in our parts department, or you want to add a couple blanket poles to aid in that. A lot of different options in our parts department if you want to add something. A lot of versatility with these. We can move these up and down infinitely wherever you'd like, or if you'd like to take the whole rack out itself and collapse this up against the wall, very easy to pull that rack straight out of there, all aluminum, pretty light, and then pop it out, and with a couple of pins, top and bottom, we can disconnect this and fold it right up against and stow it up against that driver's side wall. So nice to be able to, if you want that added space in your rear spot for your rear horse, or you're just not going to utilize that tack storage space as we have it set up. So a lot of versatility with these trailers and that ability to kind of change it up. Like we said, we've got these swing it blanket poles as well. Nice to be able to swing that out, let those air out overnight if you had a long ride out on the trail for the day, and then a bit of extra storage down here with our nice little brush boxes. Great spot. They're partitioned and they have a couple drain holes in them too. So of course we're all going to use them for fly spray or hoof paint or something like that. And of course we're going to spill it too. So be that as it may, they've cut some drain holes in it for us to make our cleanup a little bit easier. So let's talk real quick about kind of a standard feature about Ciamrron that on a big trailer like this could be easy to overlook. But Ciamrron standard industry best 4-inch on center aluminum flooring. So really hard to compare a Ciamrron to another trailer, very much so just because of the construction of the flooring and a couple of other things that we'll talk about. But the idea behind that 4-inch on center crossmember is that whether it's Fergie the mini pony or a huge draft horse, their foot's always going to be, at the very least, if it's a draft horse, maybe hitting 3 of those cross members. But even the Fergie, the mini pony, is going to be hitting 1 of those cross members. So you're not going to get some of those wavy spots that we see in those aluminum floor trailers of the past that are just a lot more distance between those cross members. Now, this trailer is equipped with rubber mats. We talk a lot here about worm and rubber flooring. If this trailer checks every box for you here today, and it's really something you're interested, but you're dying to have that worm flooring, we have a vendor between us and Denver. They do a great job for us. It's very easy for us to pull these mats out and work with them and get this down to worm. They will do a great job for us. And worm is the impenetrable rubberized flooring that kind of pours in almost like a hot asphalt. And it's no more pulling mats once a year, pressure wash out your trailer, and you're good to go. You don't have to deal with the mats anymore. So nice solid bar with a pretty easy socket just to pop it out of right there for our rear horse. Stepping up into the trailer, you'll see rubber matted floor. We're an 8-foot wide trailer, so we do have quite a bit of fender here, but everything on the walls, the fender itself has those angled edges, all rubber matted as well. Standard on the Ciamrrons, first and foremost, is this is gonna knock me over, a spring-loaded partition itself, but the metal on plastic slam latches too. make a really big difference on the ride quality of these trailers. The ride noise level of these trailers really keeps that noise level down quite a bit, because you don't have that steel on steel or aluminum on aluminum metal banging on each other like we've seen in other trailers. So nice padded partition for our second horses there, and then we have a padded partition stud divider for our number one horse. Didn't touch on it much today, but we do have a pass-through door into our LQ with an escape door that we'll touch on a little bit at the driver's side. Really nice spot to be able to use as kind of a mudroom if that's what you're looking for. We have this one with a little bit of a manger there if you want that extra space, since you're missing out on the manger that the other two will have. Again, if you've got a larger horse, you can pop that manger out of there very easily, obviously, and you get a bit of extra floor space for your horses that way. And then again, like we said, we have a lot of customers that utilize this with the stud gate as storage and a mudroom to get in and out of their trailer, straight into their bathroom, especially if it's been a long, muddy, rainy day to show or something like that. They can jump straight in the shower or something like that, not track everything through their LQs. So stud divider gives us a lot of options and a lot of versatility with these. And again, like I said, padded stud divider as well. So we talked about the floor setting the Cimarrons apart. We'll talk about the other thing that really sets them apart. Their ceilings. Insulated roof, standard option, not an option. It's standard on every Cimarron that comes off the floor, out of the manufacturer. Whether it's the little stock boxes that we sell for pickup trucks, or whether it's these big LQs. Really nice honeycomb material, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch thick. We see an R3 insulation rating out of it, so there's benefits twofold. First and foremost, temperature inside of these trailers. Even on our asphalt lot on an August day, we see a 10 or 15 degree difference. And secondly, we see a lot of structural strength to them. So hailstorms hold up very well to that. Secondly to that, we don't have to look for a cross member if we're up there working on our AC, servicing our generator, and we're not standing in the hay rack or the structure up there. You have that ability to traverse back and forth on these trailers and not worry about those thin aluminum roofs of the past that if you stepped on a spot without a cross member, you were going to put a big dent in it. Secondly to that too is the roof vents that Ciamrron puts in these trailers. Two-way roof vents really move a lot of air through these trailers. So we talked about those before. We talked about moving air through this trailer. That's just another way that's going to help us quite a bit. Summertime can suck some air straight in over the top of your horses. Wintertime can move some air out of the tops of these trailers. If you have 3 horses in this space and you do have some of your head windows closed or your drop windows closed, they can get stuffy in here. So nice to be able to pull some of that air out of the back of these trailers. One last thing before we step outside, Opti brights throughout this trailer. The awning lights outside are awesome. We've got 3, 1 per horse inside of the box of this trailer. We could find the darkest corner over there in the front maybe and still read a novel in there in the middle of the night and not need any kind of lighting. These things pump out a ton of light. So I'm gonna flip these doors closed real quick and show you a couple little things that Cimarron's doing new. That just, it's kind of the small things sometimes that make the difference in my eyes, and I think this is one of them. For quite a while, we've been outfitting the Ciamrron trailers with a separate reverse light system. Typically, you would just get a whole another fixture. It would just be a standalone white light, whether it's LED or incandescent, as your reverse light. Really nice. A lot of customers really, really like that. Whether you're at home and parking in the same spot every night, but it's just nice to be able to see that reference point, or whether you're somewhere new. So what Ciamrron's done for 2025 now is standard on all the trailers, integrated into the brake light. Ciamrron does a great job. They do 4 across the back of the trailer, 2 for driver's side and 2 for passenger side. But all 4 of those LEDs have that white LED reverse light inside of there as well. So really lights things up nicely for you. And then speaking of lights, we've got some of our controls for our LED awning lights and our interior Opti brights that we talked about as well. One last thing, access to our hay pod, our integrated hay rack, I should say, non-integrated, is our easy angle ladder. So really nice to have this option. You're not climbing straight up like you are in a hay loft anymore. And you have that ability too to lock this up with that same type paddle latch as well. So keeping some kids safe from crawling around up on your ladder, or ensuring that you're safe to go down the road. And then again, nice easy to stow just like that against your back wall. Get easy access up there. You have a little platform that gives you easy access up onto your gen to do any service to that as well. So working our way over to the driver's side, first and foremost, we talked about this a few times now, really easy access. Driver's side, pull right up to your pump in your fuel for your gen at your fuel station while you're fueling up your truck. And again, it's as simple as any other gas cap that we've used on all our vehicles going down the road. So nice to have that ability to have that onboard fuel for our gen system. Some of that fuel tank is taking up a little bit of that space in our manger right here, but you'll see this is a ton of added storage in these mangers. We're also well lit with another nice LED there as well, individual control over that guy. And again, tons of storage in here. I certainly suggest throwing some spare tire changing equipment in this spot. I think it's a great spot to keep it. If you ever need it, you've got easy access to it, but obviously great spot to put some totes, easy access equipment, whether it's a couple little things you need to get to right when you first get to your show to make moving day a little bit easier. You have that ability too. And again, here's that side turn signal that I really like a lot. Just that added visibility, that added ability to tell drivers what you're doing, what your intentions are, and hopefully they're paying enough attention that they see that light and see what your intentions are. Now, we talked about drop windows on the hip side. Here's our big head side drop windows. Jail bars in these guys, obviously, keep our horses from popping their heads out. Ciamrron does an awesome job. No hardware in these jail bars. Real easy, pop them right in and out of that track. If we are at a fuel stop, want to check on our guys, offer them a little bit of water, offer them some more hay, or drop some more hay or feed in their mangers, you can do that. And then very easy to pop these guys right back up. And Ciamrron, I don't know if you can hear that over through my mic. You might be able to, but Ciamrron does a really nice job with that suction cup on these drop windows too. So I have now personally on more than one occasion experienced driving through some crosswinds and seeing, not unfortunately a Ciamrron trailer behind me in my hooked up to my truck. I've seen these drop windows, I've seen them even come closed because the winds were so extreme and flapping in the wind. So Ciamrron does a nice job with that suction cup to really hold these tight against that wall when you do have them down. And then just one easy little pop, get them closed back up again. Got the escape door here on the driver's side. Like we said, a lot of people like using this for some access as kind of a mudroom, a bit of added storage. Little bit of a smaller drop window in this just to fit that framework of the door. But again, you're still gonna move just as much air through these as you would the other ones. Drop down step, again, just like walking into that LQ in the front, really easy access. Anywhere we have a door with dual access, especially if equine or stock has access to it, we'll do the paddle latch and the secondary latch as well. And then again, like I said, nice easy access into there. Easy to pop that bar down in that manger if we want to use this as more of a storage area than horse area. Flip our step back up. We're streamlined to go back down the road. Talk about our connections really quick. We are a 30 amp service because typically what dictates 30 versus 50 amp in these LQs is AC service. So we're a single AC unit on this trailer. So we are a 30 amp service on it. You've got at least, I believe, a 30-foot cord included with the trailer. So nice to have that. And then really stout cap there to close things up. We talked about having that city water connection versus using our onboard water connection. So if you had access, if you were hooked up to power and hopefully you had water service at that same camping spot, this is when you'd be able to utilize that pressure from the system of the water that you're hooked up into instead of using your pump on your trailer itself. So got some dump stations down below us as well, our gray and our black water tanks down below. Easy access to those. Get yourself dumped out and down the road, ready for the next show. This is the back of our refrigerator, propane versus and electric. So we do have some hot gases vented out of the back of this one. And then this is the back of our furnace as well. So always keep in mind, especially these exhaust vents like this, you'll see them on the water heater on the front and the passenger side of the trailer as well. Always keep that in mind when you're putting your plastic camping chairs down for camping or something like that. Don't cover those up. You will melt through those, I promise. Ask me how I know. So always kind of keep in mind where your services are on your trailer. We talked about the frameless windows. This is a great view of them actually. So this one pops out dual. You can vent it both sides. Really nice look to the trailer, and a kind of a different way to move some air through these trailers too. Really nice to pop them out, vent them out, and move a lot of air, natural air through the trailer. A little bit different than the bus windows that we're used to, but I think you're getting a lot of more airflow through these trailers. Those bus windows, if you think about it, the design of them inherently is they are only ever half open anyway, less than that really. So nice, different design, good look, and I think will really kind of stand the test of time as well. So stand up a little bit better than those. Now, talked about our fresh water tank and our onboard capacity. We have 60 gallons of onboard capacity, and this is where we fill that. And this really is as easy as hooking up to a garden hose, sticking your garden hose in there and wait until it fills up. It will vent out that little pump on the side, or that little air vent on the side when it is full, and it's as simple as that. You're topped off and you're good to go, and you can obviously go back to your board there in the LQ next to our refrigerator in our kitchen and check the capacities, and again, keep an eye on your systems like that. So again, 3-horse LQ, non-slide, 12'9" short wall in the LQ. We're 8 foot wide in the whole trailer's 8 foot wide in the interior compartment, and we're 7'7" tall too. So we've got a lot of extra headspace in the horse compartment. We've got a lot of extra headspace in the LQ too. So it makes a big difference when we build these taller trailers. Helps out quite a bit. If you guys have any questions about this trailer specifically, if you have questions about tongue weights or empty weights, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is linked down below. It's luke.sullivan@transwest.com. My cell phone is 859-509-1282. Call me, text me, anything like that. We can talk tongue weights, we can talk tow vehicles, and what your capacities are too, because a 3/4 ton truck that was made 5 years ago has a much different tow or payload capacity than one that's made nowadays. So even within the last year or two. So ask me how I know. If you have questions about this trailer specifically, please feel free to reference it on our website via our stock number. It is 5N241342. Thanks for your time today, everybody. También hablo español.